you smoked yet today?
I have not.
Did you want to? I brought some.
Smells so green.
I'm going to take 2 hits here and we'll be good to go.
Open up, Colorado. It's 4:20. Time to grind and burn.
This is not your son's stoner show.
Welcome back to the Cannabis Community Project, a weekly podcast high up in Denver, Colorado, exploring the new cannabis economy while living the lifestyle. Hey Cannapreneurs, let me take a second just to tell you about Cushly Organic Products. Their company puts out products that are used in hospitals, healthcare facilities, clinics, and homes throughout the United States and beyond. I use it myself, and many of my close friends and family use it. What it does is it eliminates odor. It doesn't mask it. It's not a perfume. It's not a cologne. And it's organic and it's non-toxic. And Cushly is one of the best. www.cushly.com. Also find them on Facebook and other social media under the same name, Cushly Organic Products. Hey Cannapreneurs, welcome back to another great sunny afternoon. Despite the almost 2 feet of snow that fell in Denver over the last, week and a half, 2 weeks or so, we are now having blue skies and sunny days. Denver, Colorado in general, has 300 days of sunshine. A lot of people don't know that because they associate it with being a cold, snowy state. But just because it's cold outside and there's snow on the ground doesn't mean the sun's not shining. I learned that through a friend of mine who sells solar panels. Us in California, one of the 2 states with more than 300 days a year of sunshine. The warm weather is coming. Winter's not over yet, but the warm weather is coming. Spring is here. Summer's right around the corner, as the old saying goes. So what are you going to be wearing this spring, this summer? Have you thought about some CCP apparel? You got to check it out at the store, guys. I got some pretty cool concepts going on for hats, shirts, so much that I want to do with this new logo and the new images, the new brand for the show. I've experimented a little bit. Go to the store, the membership page, check out the apparel. Give me your feedback. Let me know. I really took some thought into those 2 hat designs. I wanted them simple, basic, but yet pow, with an impact, right? The shirts, maybe they're too much. Maybe I don't need the full logo. I don't know. But I'm pricing stuff out now. Let me know what you think. And honestly, if you want to buy it, just let me know. We'll get you in. We're taking orders now. This is how we support the show. You guys get some pretty cool merch, swag, whatever you want to call it, in return. We get to stay in business, keep bringing you new stuff. I think that's what most of us are out there trying to do. That's kind of what it's all about, right? Is we want to be part of this new world of self-employment and doing work from home via the internet. So check it out. Membership page or the store, CCP store, Cannabis Community Project store. The Grind and Burn Apparel, as it's officially being called. Hey, speaking of the store, you know what we're in need of? We need a salesperson. We need somebody who understands how to do sales, develop leads, go out there and sell some of these memberships we have to individuals, the sponsorship spots we have to businesses, get more products in our store, sell more products directly. We need a salesperson. I'm finding it to be cumbersome to take on literally every task of the show, from production to host to marketing to sales and all the other stuff, going to events, doing the books, doing the taxes. So I'd like to branch out with a salesperson because that's going to be the base of how we stay alive. And then once we have sales and revenue coming in, then we can expand the show and it'll get so much better. So if you are out there and you're unemployed or underemployed, you understand sales and you understand how to work on commission and how to build leads, and you take a look at the website and you think we got some cool stuff going on, contact me. I want to speak to you. I want you part of this community. I want you part of the Cannabis Community Project. So this week, we have a split show. We have a short segment with the Crypto-Cannabis podcast. Hey, have you ever had the fantasy of buying a town, a place that people used to live, and there used to be houses and buildings, and then it turned into a ghost town, and now they just kind of sit vacant? Well, the guys up at Viz.Red have bought a ghost town in southern Colorado, 70 plus acres, water rights, mineral rights. It has standing structures, over 100 structures, foundations. It has a church. It even has an underground cave. It's full of methane, yes, but there's an underground cave. It's a hilly mountainous area, a little bit of the desert, right off the highway, just miles away from Trinidad and the northern New Mexico border. This is going to be big. There's multiple projects that are going to be taking place down there beyond just creating a new community, a cannabis community, if you will, where people will be living and working, but they're going to be diving into alternative energy. So this town is powered 100% by alternative clean energy, free energy, which will also be powering the BitMine Center that they will be building, running multiple machines mining Bitcoin, which will also be powered by the free energy. And then, of course, acres and acres of land for lease for hemp growers out there that are looking for a place away from medical grows to have outdoor hemp grows. This is going to be the possibility. So I'm going to give you a quick insight to that conversation, and then we're going to slide right into young Fait, YF, who else, drops into the studio, his update on life, performing, and the next 100 years of his life as he has planned out his goals. He has a 5-year plan until the end of his life of every 5 years what he wants to do, where he wants to be, and it's pretty interesting. And performing is only a certain slice of that life that he has lined out for himself. So sit into that conversation, listen to an artist who is supporting himself 100% by performing. Colorado's voted #1 best rapper, Young Fait, and he has a lot of good stuff to give us in the cannabis community, for all of us cannapreneurs. But until then, let's quickly look back at last week's short-term memory flashback so we don't forget what we learned last week. So much good stuff out there. David Law, another one reoccurring on the show because he's just overflowing with information about hemp and so much more in business, legal issues. Take a couple minutes right now. Listen to what we talked about last week. Go back, listen to the full show. Please like, comment, share. Make this show grow with you as the founding member. Grind and burn. At David Law, Colorado, I guess the website's here in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, upstairs from the animal hospital and the law offices of David Bush. Last time we talked about some legal bills, and I think we're going to talk again about another one.
Last time we talked a bit about a legal development in the state of Colorado. There was a bill that was passed that did a few things. Among the major ones, authorized the Department of Agriculture to develop a hemp seed certification program. So we spent a lot of time talking about that last time. What I thought we could talk a bit about this time is something about what's going on in Congress. There's a lot of proposals that are pending in Congress right now. We don't have organized crime growing this stuff anymore like it's a drug and running it around the country like it's a drug and killing people. We have business people, tax-paying business people that are growing this stuff now that are going to make business decisions. And certainly one of those is not going to be, let's try to hide our marijuana behind a hemp plant.
Right.
Complex area of the law. Let me just state it very, very succinctly here. There's a principle called preemption. And preemption basically tells us that when you're regulating a given area of the law, the higher government authority controls. That's essentially what preemption says. There's something called the Marijuana Tax Revenue Act of 2015. This was only introduced in the House, not in the Senate. It's H.R. 1014. Interesting what this does, it's actually quite a long statute. It creates a whole tax regime, excise taxes for marijuana, which isn't even the interesting part of the statute, our bill. What it proposes is to exempt some some marijuana from Regulation 280E. Just some, not all of it. And that would be medical marijuana.
So then this next political cycle is going to be big for a lot of what's happening right now, even though we're not thinking about it.
I'll tell you an excellent website anyone can get on.
Okay.
If you ever want to look at bills that are pending in Congress, go to the Government Printing Office website. It's www.gpo.gov. That's it. And that has a lot more information on the procedures.
Give out your information.
All right. So, yes, another excellent source of information is me. My name is David Bush. My law firm is David Law, DAVIDLAW. And my website is www.davidlawcolorado.com. My email address is bush, B-U-S-H, @davidlawcolorado.com.
So, very good. David, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
We'll speak to you again.
Okay, let's do that.
Last year, there was over 200,000 people that came to Colorado. How many of them came to start a business? The competition is heating up. So if you have a business, an idea, or just some thoughts about cannabis that need to be shared with the community, do it on this show. Contact me at brainstorm@cannabiscommunityproject.com. Dairy Berry's recording studio, located in Arvada, Colorado, is your local recording studio with affordable rates. Mark is well experienced and will make your show, music, or any audio you have sound great.
And now, the Crypto Cannabis Podcast.
You're listening to the Crypto Cannabis Podcast. Welcome to the Crypto Cannabis Podcast.
Prepare yourself for the Crypto Cannabis Podcast.
Get ready for the Crypto Cannabis Podcast.
Get ready for the Crypto Cannabis Podcast. Yeah, add some cowbell. Boom.
Prepare yourself for the Crypto Cannabis Podcast. And now, the Crypto Cannabis Podcast.
Now the Crypto Cannabis Podcast, man. We're just a simple podcast here to explain your investments. We got some Bitcoin in bag. It's all about cryptocurrency and cannabis too. We just want to get you high on knowledge.
It's simple. We help raise money for those in need. Through the Aurora Cryptocurrency Center, we use donations to buy Bitcoin miners and investing in digital currencies that make money.
I'm going to have to run this idea by you that I'm getting into with cryptocurrency in the industry.
This fake money. This is like Bitcoins, that kind of thing?
That's not fake money. It's a real thing.
I'm very skeptical about it myself. I tell you, every time I see someone talk about Bitcoins, I walk in the other direction.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. I'll expose it to you. I'll expose it to you. It's a real thing, but it's something that's coming out because what it does is it gives an outlet for people who are dealing in a cash business that can't make deposits into a bank under their business name. They're looking for outlets that simulate parabanking activities, right? Yeah. Where do I put my money where it's secure? Bitcoin, or the broader picture of cryptocurrency, might be an avenue for that. With a lot of details and working out, there might be something to that on both ends for dispensary owners to have an outlet of what to do with their cash, and for individuals to make purchases that are non-cash transactions but non-credit card, debit card transactions also. So a lot going on there. We could find topics all day long.
Well, I remain to be convinced, so sure, we should sit down and have someone explain to me how that works.
Let's see. So we're sitting here with Ryan from Viz.Red. I'll just bleep it and I'll pretend like I knew your name.
It's Dornan.
What is it?
Dornan. You saw 50 Shades of Grey?
No.
Good. The main male actor in that is Jamie Dornan.
That's a trick question.
U.S. Senator, California Senator.
You related to
Bob
a senator?
Dornan? No, a different Dornan line. But there's only two Dornan lines in America, and that's one of them, is the California Senator Dornan line. Anyway, so Viz.Red has bought Morley, Colorado, a little ghost town. near Trinidad.
You literally bought up a town, a municipality. How does that happen?
Well, it's not
Who'd you
considered
buy
a
it from?
municipality anymore. Private seller.
Okay. So it's not a governmental municipality, but it was a former town.
It was a town, but it was a corporation town owned by a Rockefeller. By that I mean it was owned by General Steel and Fuel, something like that. It was a huge conglomerate. And Morley was a coal mining town. I think 600 people lived there at its peak, and it was mostly miners and their families. Once it stopped producing upwards of 100 tons a day, they closed down the mine, and then they demoed the town as part of a mitigation for squatters and potential hazards with collapsing structures.
And that's where it was bought up by a private owner, sat dormant.
It's been through two other owners since then that I know of. One was a family owner that had the land the whole time, and they ran into some financial trouble only a few years ago when it went to another seller, and then they just put it up on the market maybe a month ago.
So you made an offer. The offer has been accepted. You close in 9 days. What is the property? Is it still a town? Is there houses on it? Is there buildings?
There's over 100 foundations, and there is a church, which is a landmark in Trinidad. It's an old mission-style church, St. Aloysius. And it was built by the miners, and they built it while they were working in the town. And Rockefeller, or the owner of the company, was so moved that when they demoed the town, not only did he donate a lot to constructing it, but he allowed them to not demolish it when the rest of the town was demolished. And so it still stands there. There's also the abandoned coal mine. The problem with that is several hundred people died in there during a methane explosion, mostly migrant workers and the like at the time.
So what is the plan for the land?
We're working in a few different directions with the land, because we're not only picking up that land, but adjoining parcels. So we're looking at about 200 to 300 two-dimensional acres on mountainous land. So lots of room. And one of the things we're looking at doing is doing a Bitcoin facility, which will be powered by renewable energy.
What do you mean a Bitcoin facility? You want
it will be a mining facility and a research facility.
Full of equipment.
Yeah, equipment. We'll be able to work on ASICs and in the future even design our own processors. In the meantime, it's going to be used to generate money using air or sunlight. We're already doing that right now. We're 100% wind powered, and our miners run constantly. One of the big things in Bitcoin is mining, where you are making more money than what you're spending in electricity. And so by owning our own renewable energy sources, we will be able to add additional infrastructure in the mining machinery.
So you're creating a village, a community. It's going to have people employed working these facilities?
Yeah, I don't want to use the word commune.
For lack of a better term.
See, that phrase, though, is built just to simply use the word you want to say, right?
Well, if I was going to use another word, it would be a complex, a live-work complex.
Now, the reason you don't want to use it, because you're not saying you're structuring this as everybody contributes to the
it is still a business at its core, and everyone involved does contribute to the business existing.
Okay.
We're not operating it like a government. We're not operating it like an off-the-grid commune.
Right.
It's not centered around free love and understanding and shit like that. We're centering around pushing humanity into the future in the ways we can.
Right. Love cost. I like that. There's no free love.
Right.
Nothing's free.
This is something, we want to reduce emissions. We want to create technology in plasma. We want to work with the Bitcoin industry and crypto-currency industries, and we want to work with the marijuana industries, and we're going to be doing micro farms, which is like agricultural.
Now, how are you going to staff and resource all these different projects? Is it you and who?
Well, currently we have, right now we have about 10 employees that are completely on board for this transition. We'll still be operating Viz.Red here in Denver in a limited capacity for the sole purpose of
HQ.
Bitcoin. Yeah, news.
It will be from Marley or Morley?
Morley.
Morley, Morley.
Yep. It had a post office twice in its history.
Yeah.
So it was an official township twice. Before it was Morley, it was called SEMA.
I don't like that.
It means
too
summit.
Much like semen.
Yeah, it means summit in Spanish.
Yeah.
And Morley, it's not known for sure, or readily available information, why it was named that, but it's speculated that it's named after the mine company, like major foreman, like the lead guy.
You're going to start out with these 10 with the anticipation of growing, like actually building a town, inviting people in to live in this community and work on these projects.
It will be a community, but it's going to be a next level community.
Do you have to pay some dues to be part of the community?
No, of course not. Some jobs, for example, fire mitigation. There's lots of fire mitigation work down there, and to start, we're going to be looking to accumulate a little bit of wealth for individuals, and that's going to be a way we're going to do that. we're also looking at getting a space like this one that we currently have, so that anything that's produced on the land, any kind of furniture, any kind of technology, any kind of artwork, whatever, can be sold at some kind of gallery or what have you. And then we're also looking at doing the micro farming. And if we do that, we can open up a cafe, bada boom, sell the food that we're growing.
You want to create tiny farms.
Micro farms. It's basically a hydraulic setup that produces more food than what the house it's attached to can consume.
Intentional excess, waste in a sense?
It's not waste. It's with the intention of taking it to the farmer's market or selling to some local co-op or having a cafe.
I understand the intention, but as a semi-trained economist, I would say there's an issue with that, is that it's not taking into consideration the demand, but it's forcing a production, an overproduction of supply without actually knowing what the demand will be, which means it has to be assumed there will be waste until the demand is actually calculative. What I've
seen is based on a 4-member nuclear family. And the micro farms that I'm looking at, I've seen blueprints that show, it produced this much in this growing season and like this much weight in food. Yeah. The 4-member nuclear family is expected to consume this much food, means that it efficiently uses the space more than what is required.
Right.
And we're not looking at it as waste at all. We're looking at it as a source of revenue. And everyone we bring in, because people will be coming in, there will be probies, if you will, as we gather people with new skill sets. And like some of our current volunteers, they want to work with the farming ranching style. Other of our volunteers, they don't want to be near animals. They want to work in a lab setting.
Where are all these people going to live?
We have separate micro homes that are planned.
Planned. So nothing that currently exists. Yeah.
No,
nothing
really
exists. Like there's no homes or anything now on the property.
Not yet. No, there will be.
Within a proximity of a subdivision or a city or a town.
We're within 10 miles of Trinidad and 4 miles of New Mexico border.
Okay, so still very close where somebody could live.
Yeah, we're 7 miles from Walmart.
Oh, wow.
7 miles from Walmart.
So we're not too far out of society.
Right.
Anywhere there's a Walmart.
2 of the parcels we're picking up have power, plumbing, and phone as well.
Okay.
So we're not completely off the grid, except for the Morley property.
Yeah.
Let's see, some of the other things we're looking at doing.
What are you looking for? What do you need from people? What would you like people to do with this idea that you're throwing out there in the world?
Well,
you want people to come join you? You want people to invest in you? You want people to provide services?
This is a massive undertaking. And each stage that we complete is going to require a new set of skills or a new passion, if you will.
Okay.
And so, for example, the Bitcoin endeavor, that's going to be a facility that's powered by our renewable energy and that can take the heat and has a clean room, et cetera, et cetera. That type of facility, that type of project, I am looking for investors because Bitcoin is a huge industry. Cryptocurrency is a huge industry with Ethereum jumping like $10 in a month. It's a massive industry, and we'll continue to cash out on that and create new innovations and write new code and possibly even make new machines.
So the call to action is get interested in investing in the cryptocurrency, or
we've got the live work. Anyone mechanically inclined, anyone agriculturally inclined, animal inclined, or
so
construction.
if you have some skills to contribute, you can, like a crop sharing, you can work the land and live.
Yeah. Work the land being a micro farm attached to the house.
Right. 100 years ago, it would have been crops, but nowadays, whatever is there on the property that needs to be worked.
Anyone in the marijuana industry, we're very interested in renting out outdoor acreage or placing greenhouses.
So you're leasing land.
Yeah, exactly. And we're happy to build the greenhouses and then lease them,
Are you ready
allow
to give
someone else to put their greenhouse on our land.
Are you ready to give a price to what that is yet?
I have not done the research necessary.
Okay. So they could lease the land, build a greenhouse, or look at some type of outdoor.
Yeah, you got an idea? Come to me with it. We've got 200, 300 acres, and we've got a passionate crew, and we're going to be doing all of this regardless of whether or not we get more input. And I guarantee you we are. And then our plasma division, if you will. That's going to be creating, like, anyone physics-minded, anyone electrically minded. That's a huge industry for us. We're looking at reducing emissions, creating anti-gravity. There's a number of different applications that we're very close to.
Where can they get a hold of you to talk about any one of these issues?
The best way to get a hold of us is through email at webmaster@vis viz.red, viz.red.
There you go. This is going to be big. This is going to be really big. People should get involved.
I really wish there was more organizational spewage that I have here.
Yeah. Well, that's right. That's a good start. I think people will be interested. Can I build my summer home there?
Possibly. We're allowed 2 residences on each of the properties and unlimited building.
Well,
but as long as the
maybe
residences...
I don't need it to be a building. Maybe I can just have a trailer type, one of those things on wheels, a house on wheels.
Well, what we're planning is these micro homes.
Yeah.
We've got those hundreds of foundation. Each one of those is about perfect for an $8,000 micro home. That's all the construction materials. It has a micro kitchen, little bathroom, a bed, a living room.
Yeah.
If we connect all of them by the rooftops with a catwalk, it counts as one resident.
Wow.
And we can Airbnb each one of them individually. That's another thing we're looking at doing, Airbnb. We're looking at making micro homes so that people from around the world can come visit our ghost town.
Yeah.
Or stay and see what we're about for a night or two, you know.
Yeah.
And they'll be really affordable. We're already budgeting about $50 a night to stay in these little micro homes in our ghost town. And you can spend your day walking around. Eventually there will be horses, things like that.
Yep, and you're close to northern New Mexico, Santa Fe, and close to southern Colorado's small towns.
Yeah, we're right there in Raton Pass.
And just a few hours from Denver. Excellent. We'll keep following up on this as it develops.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You don't even know what we had here. You don't even know what I had planned for you. Doing things nasty to you, it ain't new. You're coming up for air when I come through. Why you always switching on it? Why you always tricking on me? When you used to throw it back for you. Now I feel like I'm going half with it. All of the nights that you spent in my crib, the other one there was the issue. Now you tell me that it was some ish that I did.
I wanna make great music, not fight a war. Hatters overseas, killing sprees, solve anything. Actors make millions versus the homeless, missing dinners, ex-addicts, alcoholics, single mothers, old business owners with bad decisions who couldn't pay their taxes. People who fought for this country, if that's what we call rich men in power, fishing, feeling empowered, never have to lift a finger, pull the trigger on the guns and bullets they find. But we can enlist your daughter and son to fly to Baghdad, empty clips, body bags in Iraq. We spilling foreign children blood, same color as the American flag. Red rag, red wine, red rum. Christians ask me if I'm ready for Jesus to come. Scriptures predicted this part to answer your question. I don't think none of us saw. I think this generation is something the population God should have forgot. More than half of this population forgot about God. No respect or regard for human laws. Who is this policeman to put me in restraints and metal bars? Who is a judge to give me time where I can barely budge? Everybody needs a Clark in a Smallville, a Superman in Metropolis. The truth is, our superheroes is anonymous, they don't exist. Think for yourself, use common sense. Watch us bomb some cities. I never heard a president or pope say, God forgive me for all my sins. You think they perfect? Behind debates and curtains, your life is a lie, let it surface. Who's war?
And the people that showed up, they were DHS. Yes, and local law enforcement. I'm in disbelief because it's gone, and I'm surprised that somebody can come in and take your property.
Surprise! It's outrageous. And it is outrageous to say that you always felt so proud to be in this country. Your dad to
Love is the light skin, darkness away.
Dream about angels, demons hang around dangerous from all angles. And hopes to strangle this darkness. Rains on us while the hate sprays on us like an AK. On a rampage full of rage, you had a bad day. Chaotic mental state, myopic seems to make moves be prosperous. Call it real life state monopoly. How I play so monstrous. My new friend binoculars. On another topic, the love it bothersome. Leave them bothersome. How we blossoming past awesomeness. Let them witness we're unlimited progress. Limitless drama, limitless unstoppable. It's not impossible. The word itself says I'm possible. Y'all comical. Y'all wanna see us fall. Non-optional, unlogical. Overcoming every obstacle. 'Tis the season, falling leaves. Leave us room to grow. You in the past like who I used to know. Gotta go.
Put your 2 fingers up like.
waistband, bass jack, hacked your buzz, and I can't get that back talking shit. Only making your breath bad, don't give a fuck, I'll kick back with the chit chat. Move so sweet, breaking tracks like a Kit Kat, making hits, watch them slap like a speakers berserk, cause I work, not a sleep addict. People upset, they wanna carry my award, have been no bragging, never cared about a bandwagon, that's swagging, got bitches tail wagging, they bound to fall like pants sagging. I'm no bust, they no ass having, you know.
Yeah, you might have to split the microphone when she slide on over there, and that way we don't have one good microphone and then one crappy microphone. I'm just gonna throw that microphone out. Do you got your own microphones? What do you
No,
use?
actually we don't. We're trying to get some. We're actually in the process of.
You just use whatever studio you're at.
Oh, yeah. Well, we as far as live or as far as recording wise.
Do you just have any of your own at all?
No, not yet. But we're looking for live as far as like recording wise. I mean, we're pretty much good.
Okay. Let's start with that, and then
I think a good topic too that I want to talk about is about artists who maybe speak positive lyrics or might try to portray a certain positive image, but when it comes to their lifestyle, I mean, they're really not living it. And I kind of want to get your opinion on that. If you feel like it's the artist's job to give back, if people are spending their money on you and putting you in a better place where you don't have to work a 9 to 5 and they're putting you on tour, they're putting you on the road. Some artists I've talked to feel like it's not their responsibility as an artist to give back. And then some people feel like it is their responsibility. So I think that's really a good topic to speak on as well. I've been talking to a lot of different artists about it.
Let's do that. All right, let's do that again.
My name
3,
is...
2, 1.
What up, everybody? My name is Young Fait. I am a representative of Weird Music, and I'm here to talk with CCP, Cannabis Community Radio, today.
What's up, everybody? This is T. May, female recording artist of Weird Music, and I'm here to talk to CCP as well.
CCP stands for Cannabis Community Project. Although I did buy up the domain name Cannabis Community Radio, everybody just assumes it's either radio or podcast. So I bought up all the domain names: Cannabis Community Podcast, Cannabis Community Radio.
We kind of talked about the reason why you have to do that in this industry last time.
It's hard remembering exactly what names are. So as long as we get the cannabis community right, then it could be either project, radio, or podcast. I got all those domains. They all go to the same place, the website. When you get a chance, take a look at the website because I got some new updates going with membership that's going on. And I added your album, I think both of your albums actually, to the membership. When somebody signs up for a membership and pays the membership, then I'm taking that, the few dollars or whatever we talked about out of that to do the downloads on music.
Okay.
So everybody that signs up for a membership will get a free download, and then that'll be paid through the membership.
We'll make sure we get on that and share it this week. We've had a lot of different things to promote, a lot of different songs, activities going on. So right now we're trying to really get back into our promotion and trying to build a team again now that things are getting a little bit more steady and less hectic than they were.
Well, let's catch up because I think the last time we talked was beginning of January, or was it Christmas?
Yeah, it was right
something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a few months ago. But you have an event coming up.
Yes, sir.
So let's get into that. What do you got coming up?
We have a few events coming up. The next one, I'll be going to Grand Junction to the Mesa Club. What was it called again? The Mesa...
I think it was like Mesa Verde Theater or something.
It was the Mesa Theater. There you go. April 1st, I'm going to be teaming up with Troll of Slow Pain, going out there with Grand Junction. I'm really trying to continue to build my fan base in new places. So that's April 1st. And then after April 1st, we're getting ready for 420 Fest. That's running for about like 3 days. I believe that's like from the 17th to like the 20th. We have so many dates coming up. Where's the 420 Fest going to be?
At the Glitter Dome in Denver.
Yeah, that's going to be...
Glitter Dome? Yeah. I didn't even know we had a building called the Glitter Dome. What is the Glitter Dome?
I think it's new. I never actually been there before. But we'll be at the Glitter Dome performing with Top Flight and a lot of other different dope artists. Jack Flash, shout out to Jack Flash. So we'll be doing that at 420 Fest. You guys definitely should come out if you can, because there's going to be a lot of goodies there. After May 8th, the Roxy brought me back this year to headline, so I'll be headlining the Roxy May 8th, and I'm actually bringing some friends out from out of state. I got Note from KC coming out. I've got Young Miss from California coming out. I've got Young Z coming back from South Dakota, so he'll be performing. It's already action packed. The event page is going crazy right now.
Are these paid gigs?
Yeah.
So how does this work when you bring people out? Do you have to pay for their transportation?
No, not really. Some of them, the one with Troll, April 9th is that.
Just a couple weeks away.
Yeah, a couple weeks away. I did that one with Troll because I really feel like Troll has a really good fan base as well. And I kind of want to perform around those because I really feel like I don't exactly have a relationship with them. So I'm going to work with Troll a little bit more. We're also got a feature. But as far as headlines, yeah, what I usually do is we'll sit down with the promoter before we book the date, and then they'll ask how I'm feeling. I've pretty much been telling a lot of promoters, like, hey, you gave me 2-3 months and I will give you a hell of a show. So they're actually kind of like give me a chance. Plus,
nice.
I headlined there before.
Yeah,
and we made about a good couple $100.
When you work with a promoter, who approaches who? Do you look for promoters and you got to kind of sell them on what you're doing and have them kind of buy into it? Or are they finding you?
It's kind of like a mutual thing throughout the year. If I want to do a venue right now, really haven't been doing too much reaching out just because I'm so busy and staying booked. But most of the time, it's a back and forth thing. A promoter, I might wake up one morning and a promoter inbox me like, hey, I got this opportunity for you. Would you be interested? And then we'll negotiate. Or goals, whenever I have goals. Like after I do the Roxy, I probably won't be doing the Roxy anymore for the rest of the year. I'm going to be more focused on like
I remember you
Billboard.
talking about that last time about how you limit your shows to like
once or twice,
yeah.
And it makes it harder for the fans to see me. So like the Roxy's a really good place to go because it's all ages. So the next show it might be 18 and 21. So
that's an interesting statement. I want to back up because this is interesting because you're coming from a little different generation. So this is a interesting kind of thought pattern. You want to make it as hard as possible for your fans to find you.
Yeah.
Now, I think most people that hear that statement will go, well, that's counterintuitive, right? Mm-hmm. If you're a performer, you're trying to get as many people as possible to find you.
But
right?
the thing is when it comes to live shows, it's tricky. When it comes to performing live shows, it's tricky. If it's easy for a person to come see you and they can see you every week.
Now, when you say find you, you don't mean find you like find you on the internet.
No,
you're talking about live shows.
Yeah.
Like where can I physically go to watch you perform? Okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Because I mean online, I'm pretty much on Google,
right,
like all over the place online. But as far as live performances, if someone can see you on any day or any weekend, or you have a show at least 3-4 times a month, people are like, oh, I'm not going to go to that show. I could go catch him next week.
Right.
Or, I don't want to go spend this money today. We can go catch him anytime.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm only limited in myself. So that's why I feel like the Roxy, I'm getting a lot of love because people know that this show will probably be my last show at the Roxy for this year.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to work on the film more and Red Rocks and other bigger goals that I feel like haven't been touched. Like Red Rocks hasn't been touched. So I really want to put a lot of my sources and nonprofit organizations and whatever sponsors we can to get Red Rocks and to do an all independent music show,
Well, it totally makes sense. I mean, Red Rocks might be more likely to bring you on if they know you're scarce in your performance.
Yeah.
If they know you're performing every other day at every other bar and club, Red Rocks may not feel so special to accept you into their, onto their stage.
Exactly.
So it's a good strategy. It's understandable, but it's still one of those things, especially as somebody who's looking at it like, oh, how would you promote yourself and sell yourself? Especially when I relate it to like my show.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would want everybody listening as many times as possible from as many angles or standpoints because listenership is kind of what I'm going after. I don't want people to have difficulty finding where to listen, but I understand your slightly different product.
It's also another thing with it is what I tell people when they want to see me or if they want to network, instead of going to Starbucks or going to meet them down the street or have them come to my house, I'm like, hey, come to my show.
Yeah.
Come support. And that shows me if people are really serious or not, if they're really dedicated in the networking. And like I said, I'm getting really involved in the community. So if people do want to hang out and, let's do some good work.
So you're looking at doing shows as a part of your community interaction.
Yeah. I mean, eventually I want to get to a point where I'm even taking the money that I'm making from shows and take a percentage of that and do good with it instead of going buying a gold chain or going buying, instead of getting the regular one bottle, being young and stupid and getting 2 bottles and 3 bottles and 4 bottles, I feel like if we can change the world at 1%, another thing I noticed, a lot of artists copy a lot of the things I've done promoting networks and stuff. So if I get to a point where I'm like doing something good for the world and community and more people start copying me, maybe we can change the world, by that 1%. And if we can't change the world, we can at least change our surroundings and the places that we're in.
So can I ask a personal question of what are you making per gigs now? Are you making enough to survive, or is it just paying for gas money?
I really don't want to go on record about how much, but I'll say I'm living comfortably.
Okay.
I mean, when it comes down to rent's paid, always on time. Bills is always paid on time. I just got an Xbox One. I love it. And then I went on.
How much is an Xbox One? I don't know.
It's
much of a gamer.
It's like 300. Maybe.
Okay.
It's still expensive. It's still up there. But I just got an Xbox One, and I'm a '90s baby all the way. And I just got an online game, and I just got Xbox Gold. So then I got Star Wars, and then I got carried away, and I got more games, and I just finished community service. So like. It's crazy. Like, not only did I finish community service, I'm also pretty much done with 2 albums that are not even done yet. I have an album with DJ Kush.
You finished community service
75 hours worth of community service. So I have nothing.
Like voluntary, court ordered.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. From the case that I had for assaults on the police officer. I think we talked about that a while ago.
I don't remember that. I think I would have remembered that. That sounds like a big one.
I think maybe we didn't. I don't know. Yeah, a while back I got in trouble for a second-degree assault on a police officer trying to defend myself, and I just went through the whole works. They tried to give me 5 years, how to get a really good lawyer, how to pay really a lot of money for that too. That kind of put me back. If I didn't have to get a lawyer, then I would say.
And you came out at the end with 75 hours of community service?
Yeah, I only had to spend like a week in jail, 75 hours, and a bunch of court. They just pretty much want money to let me free.
Well, what were you doing that even got you involved with a police officer?
I was trying to rent a Redbox movie. I was basketball shorts trying to get a Redbox movie and loss prevention. I used to work at Walmart a couple years ago, and then I got fired for failing a drug test for smoking weed. And so I was just looking at the kiosk for a movie, and I didn't have no pockets or anything, but I saw loss prevention watching me, which I thought was the funniest thing because I'm not even in the store. I'm still in the front where the kiosk mostly is. Yeah. So I whip out my phone, or I whip out my girlfriend's phone, and I put the phone up to take a selfie. And I take a selfie, and when I take the selfie, they're in it. Like, I catch them watching me. So then I walk past to go in the store, and I start laughing at them. And they're like, what are you laughing at? And I'm like, it's funny you're watching me, but I got a picture of you. Like, I caught you. You're busted. Like, I know you're watching me. So that just went into a whole bad situation. He wanted the phone. I didn't want to give him the phone, so he told me to leave. So then I left. That made him even more mad, so he chased me out. And then he ended up smacking the phone out of my hand, stomping on it. So then me and...
This is an employee, or...?
Yeah, this was one of the employees. He smacked the phone out of my hand, stepped on it, and then when me and my fiance tried to go get a lawyer, he called the police, told the police that I was trespassing and I was fired for stealing, which I wasn't. It was all falsified. And we got a lawsuit and all that. So, I mean, we won that victory. God's good. We always end up winning our victories in the long run.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, let's avoid those situations.
Oh yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I have an Xbox One now. I got, we just got Wi-Fi in the place. So when I say I'm living comfortable, I'm living comfortable. But my thing is, I wouldn't feel comfortable being comfortable when other people are not comfortable.
So you're still 100%, this is your main gig. This is how you make all of your money. This is what you're doing. You're a performer full time.
Yep.
Going out to Grand Junction and going out to these other places, who's paying for that?
Really with the Grand Junction, we have a deal. I have a deal with Troll. A lot of the business I do with Troll is a lot of private stuff, but if I bring out a certain amount of people to that night, then I'll get paid.
Do you need a certain amount of people? Can you go by yourself? Have you gone to gigs by yourself, or is this you? Or do you
I actually haven't been to a gig by myself in like years. Huh?
Yeah,
I'm never by myself. Even right now, my house is full. I got a full house right now from yesterday's CD listening party. So I'm never really alone, which is crazy because
But does everybody partake on the cut at the paycheck at the end of the night, or are you bringing people, but only a few are getting paid?
I mean, it really depends on what everyone is doing. Like yesterday, I have a security guard, and he's my doorman.
You have a security guard?
Yeah, and
who's your
my
security guard?
His name's James, but he's also I just got him from the homeless community. He's always out there fighting and always like trying to get into trouble. So I'm like, hey, if you want to be a tough guy, let's get you out of that situation. Because really, like I said, God's good. So I've never had any altercations, or no one ever really tried to physically harm me. So really, he's not really doing security. He's just sitting around drinking beer, having a good time watching the show. So that's why I have him do the door. So when he does the door at the end of the day, I'll split the money with him. Or if I have T performing, I'll split some money with him. I'm really trying to get, after I get done with these shows and I focus on Red Rocks, I try to go back and put my artists like Brandon Ray, get him a headline where he can start making money and doing shows. I mean, there's enough money for us to go around. Like I said, at the end of the day, as long as my bills are paid, I got food in my fridge, and my Xbox One is working fine, hey, I'm gonna stay out of trouble.
I'm very curious to if you have like a formal accounting system. Like, do you have a QuickBooks or something where you're keeping track of your expenses and your income and the money? I mean,
that is actually, that's a really good question. I mean, that's kind of where I feel like my Superman weakness is the business, but at the same time, I just went out and linked with Valerie Harris, and she's real good with the books. Her mom is like one of the top 100 people out here, top 100 women in business out here. And she's really, really good work. So that's why I got with her, because she knows the paperwork's in and out. So that way she can sit with me and she can start teaching me, because that's what I really want to work on right now. And with me having 2 albums so done early in the year, you know, I have time to start stepping out and learning.
Well, everybody knows the MC Hammer story, right?
Yep.
I mean, you can have all the money in the world and wake up one day and it's gone.
Yeah,
Worse than gone, you're in debt.
The
It's not just gone, you're in debt. You owe money on top of that.
You can be a rock star. You can be anybody in the world. You don't play with the IRS. I know that from a fact.
Well, I mean, it's more than just paying your taxes. It's an organizational thing of keeping track of money coming in and money going out, which is why I'm always curious with people that have, you know, more than, I guess, 2 people going with them of how they really manage that. Because, you know, in my world, you know, you're a single guitarist or you got a small band. It's pretty simple, you know. You got 4 people in the band. It's 4 people, maybe a manager. It's just you and your guitar. It's you and your guitar. I mean, there's kind of an idea of keeping things simple and who it is. But when you show up and there's 8, 6, whatever people, how do you control so you're not losing money at the end of the night?
Well, a lot of the people that we're working, I mean, we're a little bit more ahead of our stages. We're more in the more popular than the more financial. Weird Music we're a family. So we support each other no matter what. It's never really about the money, because with us being a family, like I said, we got to look at, like, what do you spend money on? I mean, what do you really need to spend money on? If it's food, we have that. If it's certain things. So with the money, it's really not, because we're not about one of the fancy stuff and trying to get all a bunch of change and stuff. So the money is actually circulated between the family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if
but you 2 are a couple. Yeah. So when you make money, in a sense, she's kind of making money. And when she makes money, you're kind of making money. But you said you have 5, 6 some other people in the house, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, that's just from the last night's party. They
they
don't live with us. But I'm just saying, as far as your question earlier, I'm never really alone. Most of the times at the shows,
right?
No, it's just me, T May, and then our other artist Hung Lee, and he works a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? So we all balance it out. Like I said, we all come together when it comes to what we need, food.
Yeah,
we'll go like once or twice a week, fill the whole house up, like back in the old school with your grandma, when your grandma had like the full cabinet.
Right.
I take that.
A lot of peanut butter and jelly and
canned goods,
top ramen.
Yeah, we got some. We still got top ramen. We're still real humble. Top ramen will be something that no matter if I'm a millionaire or a billionaire, I'll still eat it, because it's just fast and it's easy and it tastes good sometimes.
Well, maybe at least get the higher quality top ramen. So
yeah, I've seen some new ones.
Don't get cancer from eating that styrofoam stuff.
Oh yeah, all the extras. I just seen the videos about a bunch of the stuff that they're putting in our foods.
Do you find yourself looking to save money because you feel like you're working towards a bigger payout, or do you find yourself just not really thinking about what's needed to survive? You know, you go out and you do your gigs, you get paid when you get paid. You know, you have certain expenses like the rent and so forth. You were talking about goals earlier. Is money part of that equation?
It's in a way.
Is there a dollar amount you're going for?
No, it's really just for goals outside. Like once I get done with probation, I'm trying to go to Australia. I have connections out there. They want me to perform. So of course, it's an expensive trip, but they're willing to pay half of the trip and put us in a hotel. So that's really not that bad.
Well, if you look at it like that, it's kind of like a vacation that's just
And I want to travel.
discounted.
Not only do I want to travel, like a lot of people my age are not able to travel. Like for me, I wouldn't, if I wasn't on probation, I would not be here. Probably.
Yeah.
I'd probably already been to Europe like last year, but a lot of people my age are not able to travel, plus perform and, experience that. So yeah, we would need money for that. Plus also for Thanksgiving, when we do the turkey drive, our first turkey drive, that's going to take money. So it's really just what the money does. I'm pretty much a study my surroundings, and I'm seeing what people are spending money on, and I see really a lot of selfishness with people with artists spending money, with artists that are getting successful. I see the new cars, I see the new chains, and I'm not a hater or anything, but it's like I just don't understand how people can feel right in their spirit, knowing that these people might have spent their last $5 and $10 just to buy your album, and you're doing nothing to give back. Not only that, I'm one of the only few artists that if I would take 30, 40 minutes out of my time to study with a younger kid who might not have parents, because I'm smart when it comes to school and math and other stuff, and I know how to work with kids, And there's no artists, there's no role models right now, in my opinion.
That's actually a good transition into what you were talking about earlier. You have two things that you're working on. One is the Thanksgiving turkey drive, fundraising, trying to raise money to buy 50 turkeys to give away to the homeless shelter downtown, the Mission.
Yeah.
That is going to be done through what? Through doing shows, performances, just solicitation of money? What's the plan?
I mean, we're going to get together with our management and see the best way. We might do the GoFund. All the people that inbox me, shout out to everyone who's inboxed me and commented, see what their schedule and what their finances is looking like. Because my main thing when it comes to spending money is, by no means, I never want anyone to spend money where it's going to break them.
Yeah.
Spend enough where it helps, because even $1 helps. So I think it'll help out. Like, honestly, I think with us coming together, even getting sponsors, I feel like it'd be a lot easier to get a sponsor that way, to see that we're able to do that. Because there's a lot of money in these businesses right now in Colorado with so many people. And it's not that they don't want to do a good cause. It's just there's no one that's created the opportunity in this city right now to do those good causes.
Well, I mean, 50 turkeys, you're going to need a place to store them. Unless you just...
Well, we have a church, too. The place that I did my community service is all the way up for the cause. So,
okay.
Yeah, so that's the good thing about the community service. It was pretty good that I got to know those people while I was there.
But here's the real question is, they're frozen turkeys? Because you can't give a frozen turkey to a homeless person.
Yeah, because they can't cook it. And that's
they walk around.
We were going to end up making the place. We were probably going to make the place at the church, or find somewhere like around the church, or even if we make the place, we can use a microwave. I mean, it's definitely a lot of planning and processing, but by no means do I want to do it by myself. I feel like to do something this big of a movement, it's going to take the community. It's going to take everyone else's ideas.
Well, it sounds like what it's turning into is more of just a dinner or kind of a Thanksgiving.
And it's kind of like going back to when the Indians with the Pilgrims, but it's like the ones that are doing more better in life are sitting with the ones that are not doing it. And it's like, for me, I want to sit with these people and I want to hear their story. Yeah. I want to sit with these families and know what happened. Is it the banks? Is it the people not giving them jobs? Because at the same time, when I talk to those people, I can get ideas. I know a lot of different businesses that are hiring. And as long as that, I can tell the difference between a drug addict, because my mom was a drug addict. But then I can tell the difference between someone who something just went bad, like my auntie. The banks took everything from my auntie, and she was homeless for like 2 years before she got back on her feet. Yeah. So like I said, there's no role model in this city as far as hip-hop that I've seen, really, that are willing to go all the way down there and sit with them. Like my whole Thanksgiving, I'm not going to be I'm going to be with Weird Music, but I'm going to be down there with the homeless, talking and rapping and singing with them, get into a little battle, like I want to see their talent, see them painting. And my security guard, like I said, I got my security from down there. So he's able to show me the places and help me figure out who needs the help and stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think homelessness is some of, economic conditions. Something happens to somebody in their life, lose a job, or, somebody dies, something happens. And then there's definitely a percentage of drug addicts and alcoholics.
There's also people who gave up because no one took the time to give them a chance.
There's that. I think a good percentage you're also going to find are people who probably have some mental issues that need some professional help and probably should be on medication.
And even with that, I feel like, I don't really know into the extensive. To me, when I look at the homeless community, I feel like they really have nothing but a shelter and crummy food. Yeah. They don't have doctors to come out there and check this. It's really not, I don't know, like I'm a big fan of the 60s. In the 60s, there were hippie doctors, per se, that were going down there to the homeless places and checking on them and checking their blood pressure and giving them checkups. And then there was psychiatrists that were there to talk to them and go, because, look at this snow. Like, there's no way that I could be homeless dealing with this snow. Like, that would make me insane. That would give me mental problems. And the blessing with music is I meet so many different people. I meet doctors. I meet all kinds of different people, especially now that I'm starting to get a little bit more notice. We were just on TV a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Where?
On Channel 56.
Okay.
We were on Channel 56.
Denver community chat. Yeah.
We were just on there, and I met a lot of, people who are financially up there that had all kinds of different jobs. And like I said, I just feel like there's no one that's created the opportunity. For me, it's just a small piece because I don't really feel like I make a huge difference. I know that I make a lot of people's Thanksgiving better, but maybe people will start imitating it. And maybe a millionaire might see it. It just take like one millionaire and like, okay, this is a good idea. Like, let me do something with my money. That's pretty much. I just want to open some brains.
Well, I mean, if you're already looking at putting on some type of show and doing that, then we should definitely start talking to some businesses, like maybe even here at Dank, to see if they want to help with some of the infrastructure, some of the support in that. All it takes is one or two businesses to really make an impact.
To make a big difference.
I mean, for a one-day event, we're not talking about feeding people every day for the rest of their lives.
And it's Thanksgiving, and it's really, if we do that on Thanksgiving, like I said, it really will put a word around. Yeah, per se, it'll open a lot. I think it's like the Grinch effect. It'll make a lot of people's hearts grow a little bit bigger.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot going on to kind of the giving back in the community and being part of not just what you're doing as a job. I guess your job is being a performer, right? It's your job. And
I'm also trying to get back into the speaking days. Where I'm not just up there on the stage rapping, but I'm also speaking and talking to people, because as a leader and as a person that's in the public, I feel like that is my job.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be that artist anymore where you just see, young Fait for partying.
Right.
Like being a party boy. I want you to know that.
You made another comment about their lyrics were negative, but their lifestyle.
A lot of the artists out here that are known, their lyrics are decent.
Okay.
Their lyrics are really good. They're speaking it, but then at the same time, I mean, the reality is I don't understand, like, how you can speak about, for perfect example, I'm a person that calls names out. I don't care. The person I'm talking about is Trev Rich. Trev Rich is the type that he talks about, how women are beautiful and how we need to respect them and all that. But then I turn around and I see you on Twitter talking about passing this girl around with your friend on Twitter. Like, oh, I'll put her in your inbox. You can have her once I'm done with her. Like, how does that contradicts?
Yeah.
Those two contradicts. You can't be like, let's love our queens, and then you're calling this girl a B, and you're trying to like have whatever orgy and pass them around to your homies. Like, and then at the same time, I put $600 in this man's hand. Nothing back to the community. Nothing. All I seen was a new gold chain and a new car. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something with that. If you're going to be up there and you're going to be that person, be a role model, because there is no more role models. We've lost all that with Tupac and with Biggie and with a lot of other.
So you feel like your music, your performance is not just art, but there's a social.
It's a lifestyle.
And
that's what a lot of people forget. People think that hip hop is that we can get on this mic and use our imagination, and it's it. And I get it. It's the freedom of speech. You get to be creative. But at the same time, if you do your roots, if you claim that you're a hip-hop artist, it's a lifestyle. Yeah. You're living a lifestyle. It's the same thing with gangster rap. If you're going to be a gangster rapper and then you get shot, what is the news going to say? You got shot because you're a gangster rapper. So if you're going to be a conscious, intelligent rapper, then you should be that through your people. You shouldn't be like intelligent in your music, but then you treat the people that put you on in a negative way, or you put them down. Like he said something to my friend. He was like, "You don't even matter. You only have 22 followers," to one of my friends. Like, what does 22 followers have to do with real life? Like, your social media does not determine your success. Your social media does not determine you as a person. Your social media is just a way for you to put your music out or to vent. A lot of people use it as a diary, but that's what your social media is. Your social media does not matter. You can have 20,000 followers and still be a shitty person.
I got 1,000, but I only know 22 of them. So.
Hey, you got 1,000 followers, but you're a lot more humble and a lot more better than people that I know that have 50,000. Because think about it, and it's reality. People literally will get 50,000 on Twitter and lose their goddamn mind.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got 100 notifications or I got 100 likes, but let's break down your album sales. Like, put your album sales out there. Like, let's see your album sales compared to how many people are liking your music or how many people are sharing or that are writing you. Like, put your album sales out. That's a lot more something to be bragging about than 50,000 followers.
Well, I mean, speaking of album sales, you put out a lot of albums, right?
I have one solid album out, which is my first LP, which is essentially this LP, and then I have a free mixtape out.
Okay, so you're talking about 2 more coming out. this year.
I have the New West album coming out May 7th, the day before my headline at the Roxy. And then I'm going to be releasing the Young Fait EP with DJ Kush of Top Flight, and that's to be announced. I don't know when I'm.
And are these full albums, like
the young
8-10 some tracks, or
the New West album? I believe is 18 tracks.
Wow.
The Young Fait EP is going to be about 6 or 7.
How do you remember all that?
That's the difficult part.
Carry a notebook with you on stage?
Well, that's the difficult part. Is learning the lyrics and performing them. I can write all day. I can write a song in 10, 15 minutes, a really good song. But when it comes to memorizing it, it'll take me weeks because I have to continue to play over and over. And then I have an attitude problem, so I get really mad at myself, and then I just don't want to do it no more. And it's just really getting pushed. And I really asked my team to get behind me this year to really push me, because this headline, I'm going to put on one hell of a show. You're going to see props. You're going to see dancers. You're going to, just because this is CCP, I'm going to give you some exclusive stuff. I'm going to hand somebody a waffle.
A waffle?
Yeah. I'm just going to be performing it, and out of nowhere, I'm just going to hand them a waffle and act like I never did it. That's just going to blow their mind. You see it?
We'll look for that one.
Whoever's in the front, if you're listening, if you're in the front, you might get a waffle from me that night.
So everybody bring syrup with you.
Yeah, bring syrup. It might be frozen, it might be unfrozen. It depends on if I leave it out the night. That's what I'm about. I'm about positivity and about having a good time. I want to make, because then you never know. Like, if someone handed me a waffle while they're performing, one, it's going to be like, what? But at the same time, it's going to, like, make my day in a weird way, like... Hey, silly. Let's have a good time.
Where do you classify yourself? So you're not a gangster rapper, right? So
I'm the king of weirdos.
The king of weirdos.
I'm the king of weirdos. Yeah, I'm the founder of Weird Music, and I'm the king of weirdos. I do a bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah, and you write your own stuff.
Yeah, I write my own stuff. I've actually been getting into teamwork writing. What I do is when I start writing, like the New West album, I would make sure I would get T and everyone locked in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen to this, listen to this. What should I fix? Or change this.
I'm actually glad you kind of said that about your writing process and practicing and trying to remember lyrics, because from a musical standpoint, you come up with a song that's what it takes. It takes maybe 10 minutes to write the lyrics, and then it takes weeks, if not months, to develop that into a song. A lot of people who aren't in the hip hop world have the impression that it's all just freestyle, all impromptu, and which is a great skill, right? It's a great skill, but I think there's something really about the refining, right? About the editing, about the rehearsing.
That's what a lot of people don't do. Is though the biggest thing that we could take from school as artists or as writers is rough drafts.
Yeah,
there's no reason you should just write and be like, that's it, I'm going to the studio like that. As soon as you're finished writing, that's your rough draft. You know what I'm saying? Like you still got to fix stuff. Like maybe you saying the is not right, or maybe you saying or maybe your patterns is off. Like and a lot of people don't take that time to do rough drafts, and for me, I do. And it actually makes me faster, believe it or not. Like I can literally write a song in like 5-10 minutes and record it in 10 minutes and have a whole song done in like less than 30 minutes, and that's because I'm so used to editing and my mind's so used to looking for errors. Like, okay,
I feel the same way. If you know you're going to edit, you're a little bit more relaxed in your delivery because you know it's going to be edited. I mean, when I'm on the microphone, I don't think too much about saying weird shit because I know I could edit it. I know if something comes out wrong, I'll just edit it. So I'm not too worried about it versus a live situation. But when I watch, whoever, rappers, whoever, kind of supposedly off top of their head freestyle, I'm like, okay, maybe I couldn't do that per se, but I don't know if the quality of music is necessarily good either.
Well,
I mean,
because also
it's like if I give you a speech just impromptu right now, it's not going to be the best speech.
Nope.
But it may be an all right one. But just because I can think of shit to say off the top of my head, but that doesn't mean it's going to be the best.
Don't forget you got the drunk freestylers too. They get a couple beers in them, and they're like they're just straight Eminem
the microphone.
They're Eminem all the way with that beer.
Well, I have no room to talk about music. I'm barely a musician myself, but I'm always fascinated with how people are surviving nowadays. And I think taking the cause of trying to find a community-based approach to what you're doing and really looking at it as, like you said, a lifestyle, giving back to the community, trying to do something more positive. How do you translate this into 20 years, 30 years? Is it just the same track doing what you're doing now, just down the line?
I think in 20 years, I see a lot of artists copying me. I think this is Because look at all the stupid trends we have, from the jeans to the, I don't know, to the rainbow, like all the different trends that really has nothing to do with anything. You know, pray for Paris.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that kind of sparked it, because it's like we have all these people in America like pray for Paris, you know, and my prayers do go out for them, but then they do nothing for their own country.
Right.
So my thing is, I want to create a fad. But this fad I want to create where artists is like, okay, man, this dude's doing this. And the thing is, the blessing is with God works is that I'm not expecting no blessings out of it, but I'm sure that God is going to like give back, you know, with me having that open heart. So if people see that I'm becoming more successful by doing this, by taking this route instead of taking the other route, talking about hoes and bitches and money, that I'm doing this for the community, in 20 years, maybe there'll be 100 of me, 200 of me. And then if there was 100 of me with that mind state, or there was 200 of me with that mind state, where would Colorado be, first of all, before the world?
I think there's actually more dialogue. People are really having those kind of conversations, not just with hip hop. I think with all music in general.
There's also strength in numbers. What I was explaining, we had the New West dinner party after the engagement party. That was the one we were talking about. The New West dinner party wasn't a live performance. It was just a bunch of artists, promoters, networkers. We all got together at A-Town Pizza. We sat down. We bought pizza for everybody. That was super expensive, by the way. But actually, shout out to my management. My management went actually half on me with that.
You need Chuck E. Cheese for those kind of events.
But
$5 pizzas.
We sat down at the table, and then that's what we were discussing, is that with us coming together, that it could change so much around the community. We could really make a difference, not even just in 20 years, but within the next couple of years, honestly.
But 20 years in the sense of you, like if we just fast forward 20 years from now, is this still what you're doing? Are you doing gigs and involved in community activities?
I kind of have always had my generation, even to a kid, like down to a T, and I've been doing pretty good with it. This is going to be funny because when I was about from like 1 to like 7, I just had it in my head I was going to be bad. I was going to do whatever I was going to do. I was going to be bad. And then from like 8 to 12, I was going to be curious. So I was always curious. And then when I got into my teen, that's when I got into like my naive stage. And I was just like experimenting and just doing like partying and doing stuff. And then in my 20s is where I wanted to be more focused on my career. But not just more focused on my career. I wanted to be successful, but I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to enjoy my 20s. So that's why I still kind of go out, you know, like enjoy, still drink a little bit. You know, I still am enjoying my 20s. But then when it comes down to my 30s, I want to be more serious, more business. You know, I'm not going to be wearing the same clothes. I kind of want to get into more suits. You know, suit attire, because I want every generation to be different. I don't want to be feeling like a 20-year-old when I'm 30 or feeling like a 30-year-old when I'm 40. So in my 30s, I want to be more serious, more behind weird music, more behind younger talent, more be involved in the community, less involved in the music scene.
Less involved.
Yeah.
So you want to move away from performing?
In a way, in my 30s as a performance, because I really feel like, and that's another problem with the industry, that there's a lot of people that are in their 30s in the industry and they're not really getting too far. And they have all these good connects. And the thing is, their connects aren't working with them is because this is an age industry. So a lot of those connects are not going to work with them because they're 30 and 40 years old, because they're not going to get any money. But instead of passing that down to a younger person, it doesn't have to be me. It could be any artist they see with talent. But instead of them doing that, they hold on to it until their grave. Like
crowding the scene, they're making...
It's a lot harder for the youth to get in there because they have that spot. And a lot of the older people need to have that mindset. So for me, whether if I'm a millionaire or not, I'm still going to take that step away to put my connects and my energy.
So what would you say, 10, 15 years is pretty much like 16 to 30 is kind of...
When I get 30, and the thing is, I mean, the only way that I'll be really performing in my 30s is if I'm getting paid the buku bucks. Like, I'm getting paid thousands of bucks to perform. And then I'm going to keep my old self at a desk in a chair. And I'll be answering phone calls for T-May and Weird Music and for everyone else that's going to be on the road.
So you want to move more towards the business side, the management side.
I want to get an office, a desk.
Maybe do some producing.
I want to kick my feet up at a desk and answer phone calls all day and book a bunch of talent and really run Weird Music from not being an artist perspective. And then in my 40s, I'm going to disappear. Just completely disappear. And you won't see me till I'm 50. And when you see me when I'm 50, you're going to see me on the news running down the street butt naked. That's how I'm going to celebrate my 50th birthday.
Well, I like that you do have the goals, as you said. Yeah. You know, the old Japanese warriors used to plan 100 years out into the future, right? I mean, you have the big plan, and then you have the small day-to-day.
And I mean, so far, I've done each one. If you get my parents in here, they'll tell you I was bad. And if you get my grandparents in here, they'll tell you I was curious. And then you get my exes and my baby mom in here, they'll tell you I was naive. And then you get around Weird Music in my 20s, they'll tell you I went hard. Like, I went partied. I even overdosed like New Year's, that's what got my life straight to and made me really focus. Yeah, it's been crazy.
This New
year.
Year's?
Yeah, this
overdosed on what?
I would not like to say, but it's very familiar to snow. Outside, it looks like snow.
Man.
Looks like snow out there. And that truly changed my life, too. Because I was dead. Like, my heart stopped, you know? And it was like, when I came back, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I can't be doing this. So, you know, stopped that. Went straight back to marijuana. That's it, you know what I'm saying? A little LSD here and there.
Yeah.
We'll get a little trippy. But, yeah, that really woke me up. I had Taylor over me, screaming at me.
Wow.
She was yelling at me. She was really mad at me. So I never want to go back to that again. And that's, the thing is like, when I came back from that, if that was that day, if that was it, I would be known for that person that was controversial or always fighting with people. Or I would be known for that guy that was partying and doing 2 bottles, you know. And now that I got a second chance, I'm not known for that no more. Like, between my Facebook posts and the New West dinner party and other shows, yesterday I even got to explain my album and why I'm doing my album. Now my image, I'm starting to see change a little bit, you know. I've got a lot of people mad at me because of the Trevor Rich situation, but a lot of those people are ignorant. They're not looking into the situation. They're not looking into what I said. All I asked him to do is do a little bit more with what he has, because he's up there. He has more connections. He can do a lot more. Him and DJ K-Tone can throw all these events and parties and birthday parties and VIP bottle service, and $300 goes down the drain, but not one event. You can throw 100 events, but not to throw one event a year to give back, or not to do one thing to give back.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because one of the people that are arguing with me, I thought was actually about to make a valid point. She hit me up. She says, well, Trevor Rich is making a difference. He is doing stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is getting good. Maybe someone will shut me up. She said, he's always liking our statuses and sharing stuff. I literally dropped my mouth like, this is like doing stuff, like this is substance for you. That's what she said. The bar is low. Yeah, she like literally went in the whole paragraph like he's out here doing things for us and blah blah blah. He's always liking my statuses and sharing stuff. Like, come on, man, let's get off social media. Let's really get back into the streets. Let's get back into the community. Let's like, I don't even, how many artists that are successful, like, then this is a question for those that are listening. How many of you guys have even had a conversation with your fans outside of listen to my link? Here's my link. You probably get all the time. Here's my link. Listen to my link. But how many times do you like, hey, how are you doing? Do you realize how many of my fans I blow away with that? I won't send them any music, no videos, nothing. I just message them, hey, how was your day? They'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you asked how my day was. My day's fine. How was your day? My day's good. Well, you have a great day. I'm glad that you're doing good. I won't even send them a link until like 2 weeks later. And why? Is because they're more acceptable to listen.
Right.
Because if you care about them, most people are going to care about you back, unless if they're just heartless.
Social media, ironically, is taking us further apart rather than bringing us together.
Back. It's really taking us. Look at the blackout. People lost their damn mind with the blackout in Aurora. Like, there was no food. There was nothing. Like, people had no food. And then,
which we
had a blackout with the blizzard.
The other night?
Yeah. Aurora was all blacked out for like, almost a day? We had no power for like almost a day, all of Aurora, and like the grocery stores were wiped out. Everything was wiped out. And then the next day, when the weather was all nice, there's like lines outside the door in IHOP and lines outside the door in Village Inn. We had to go to Chubby's.
Nobody has any food.
Everybody was like it is crazy.
That's the apocalypse. That's a little sample of what's going to happen.
And the thing is people are not conscious or intelligent enough to realize that when the power goes out, you will have no phone, you will have no Google. You're going to have to do everything on your own. What are you going to do when you don't have Google?
Yeah.
People don't even read books anymore. That's another thing that we're trying to get kids and other people to do is to get off their phones, because, reading on your phone, you might be reading, but that's still doing damage to your eyes.
Maybe you should write a children's book or a teenager book.
Hey, I'll probably have time in my 30s when I'm sitting at that desk.
Or in your 40s when you disappear.
Yeah. I'm going to be getting ready for my 40s. I'm telling you, you're going to see me on the news. I'm going to be running down the street naked.
I mean,
50.
You definitely sound like you have a lot of experiences to relate to junior high, high school coming up. And a lot of guidance to really give them. Would you listen to you if you were 15 years old?
Yeah, in a way, because I would know how to word it. I would know. I'm really smart because I also took psychology. The thing a 15-year-old doesn't want to hear you do is off the bat come off and be like, do this and do that. Teenagers don't want to be told what to do. They rather be like, yo, come play basketball with me. Let's go play a basketball game. And then that's how you talk to them. You know, you're backing them up like, hey, you've been respecting your mom lately? Like, how's you and your mom doing? You know, you got to like, the thing with parents is that parents, even for me, my parents were always telling me what to do. And I was just like, well, if you're going to tell me what to do, you're not cool. So I'm going to go do the opposite, whether if I get in trouble or not. You know, it's the way that you have to talk to kids. Psychology really helped me out a lot when it came to working with people and talking to people.
So then you need a place. You need like a YMCA or
that's another thing.
Boys Girls Club.
That's a bigger thing that I want to work on. That gets into the violence, because there's a lot of violence coming on in the city now too, with so many people here. Where I'm from in LA, there's at least a boxing gym almost in every hood, and that boxing gym is to encourage to get kids off the streets and away from gangs, and instead of punching on each other, punch on the bags, or, you know, get into that. In Colorado, that's another thing. That's what I'm saying. There's really not role models here. There's really not people. It just seems like it's a cash state, or it's a, you know, it's a selfish state in a way. There's really not that many, no gyms, YMCAs. It's really rare out here. And for us to be have so much money, it's like, why? Why are we not doing that?
So how do you get yourself out there? So
a lot of it is
create this group, this community, this mentorship.
A lot of it is either going to come with me because I've opened the option of getting a record deal. I'm going through negotiations. We're talking with someone from Interscope who used to work with Interscope. So we're possibly considering the deal, but at the same time, a lot of people don't understand. When you get a record deal, the record doesn't tell you what you're going to do. You always have room for negotiation. So no matter if a record deal gets me that option to sign with them, my negotiation is that, you know, I want my people not have to work, you know, at least T and Hung Lee not to work. And, you know, I want them to be involved. If I get a record deal, they have to be involved in my cause. So like I said, like what we went back to earlier, it does come to money. But once I get to the point, because right now I'm with Valerie and I'm learning how to do the paperwork. So once I get to the point where I can learn the business as far as the paperwork, the ins and out of it, because I treat everything like a video game. So there's nothing that I can't put my mind to. Paperwork is just a video game to me too, you know. So once I learn the paperwork, then I can get into like learning how to get a business loan. Because Valerie has a business license. We already have the license, but just getting the financials. And it really comes with just working with other companies. Like you said, it really only takes one or two companies to start getting things going financially.
That would be a good integration into. Is there an equivalent, you know, like Guitar Hero? Is there something similar to that for hip hop? Is there like a Guitar Hero rap battle or something?
I'm pretty sure there is, but I've never like really. Yeah, there's like Def Jam rap battle.
That would be a good thing to incorporate into that video game, the business side of it.
We're also trying to get into cartoons. My graphic artist is getting ready to learn how to get into that animated. So we're going to try to do as much as we can. Now we're connected with the TV people, so we're going to sit with them. It's just really time. Right now, my main focus is May 8th, and once May 8th is out the way, I feel like that's going to open a lot of doors with me being a headliner, and especially if I can bring enough people in where I look like the other nationals that are coming in. If I can do their numbers, that's my goal, is to do the same numbers that Ritz is doing or Strange Music is doing.
Well, let's promote that, because it sounds like that's the closest thing that's coming up. So let's promote that. So let's give out that information, the dates, the place, the time, the websites where people can get more information.
Well, that'll be May 8th, and that'll be at the Roxy Theater. That's off Welton. For those who don't want to drive, the light rail station goes right there. The tickets are $10. The way that I work with tickets, if you cannot absolutely afford it, honestly, you can't afford it, then I will either go half with your ticket to make sure you get in, or I'll give you a free ticket if I can at the time if you get to me. It's going to be a lot of dope artists. It's going to be myself. It's going to be T. May. It's going to be Brandon Ray is going to be performing. Like I said, Young Z's coming from South Dakota. Young Miss is coming from California. Brody from Rowdy Life. He's bringing artists out from out of state. I don't exactly have their names right now, but the event page, you'll see me at least post the event page at least once a week.
Nice.
Every couple days.
And make them work for the tickets, even if they are free.
Well, the thing is a lot of the people...
Pick up trash for 10 minutes or something.
You know, yeah, tell them to do a good deed, you know. But my thing is if you had never seen me perform, then I want to get you in that door however I can, because when you see me perform and you see my energy and you see... you know, the intensity in my eyes and what I believe in, and especially if I have certain times to speak in between my sets.
Yeah.
And it's going to be well worth it. So my main thing is if I get you in there the first time, you don't like it, hey, you never have to come back. But that's how I've been building my fan base, you know, and people will come see me perform and be like, wow, this kid's got a lot of energy, because most of the time I'm really quiet outside of radio interviews and other stuff.
I will
get out and watch you perform one of these days.
Oh, it's gonna be. I will go. I'll put extra energy into it.
Nice, man. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by.
Oh, no
the
problem.
New Dank Studios.
Appreciate the invite. It's definitely looking nice in here.
Thank you. T, any outgoing words? Anything to throw out? Whatever you want.
Yeah, well, the next album, I'll let you have the name. It's going to be called Emotionally Naked. It's kind of a interesting title, I know.
Personal?
Yeah, like a little bit. It's just going to be like all the insides of being a woman, how crazy we are sometimes, and how interesting that can be.
Nice.
And
when is this coming out?
To be announced. It's actually going to be a formulated project, so it's going to take some time, but I'm up for it,
Nice. You've been busy yourself. I've seen you've been winning some awards. You've been really getting the attention.
Here and there, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to do this 420 Fest at the Glitter Dome. It's going to be the weekend before 420. I think it's like the 16th, 17th, and 18th or something like that.
Nice.
It's a venue in Denver. I've never performed there, but I heard it's supposed to be pretty active, so I'm excited.
that is exciting. And we're going to have to also talk to the owner here to see if you guys want to shoot a video, maybe.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So we'll have to see if he's here today.
That'll be nice.
I'll see if I can get his attention.
Yeah.
Want to shoot just like...
a video, maybe talk to him about some sponsorship, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something,
Okay.
But, we appreciate you bringing us in and stuff. And for those who don't know where to find me, you can Google T. May of Weird Music, and I'll pop up. Or you can Google Colorado's favorite musician and look under those images, and I pop up too.
Nice.
And we got a free mixtape too.
I think I got the mixtape, right? It was
Audio Mac.
Yeah, you were sending out. Yeah, I got that. I was just playing some stuff off. Nice. Thanks, guys. Until next time. See you again.
Much love. Thank you, everyone.
There you have it, Cannapreneurs. That's all I have for you this week. But make sure to stay in touch with us. Stay with us on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, Twitter, all the networks out there, even Mass Roots and YouTube. Make sure to follow us every week right here. Leave your comments. Give us your feedback. Be on the show. We want to see you every week. This is your community, so make sure to come back. We'll see you next week.